Hey guys, so today I am filming a joint review and review on the ColourPop bronzers and highlighters. I know that these have been out for a couple months now, but I just wanted to thoroughly test them for you guys so I could give you a very accurate review, and I'm going to start with the bronzers. So for price and availability, the ColourPop bronzers retail for $8 and you can only buy them on ColourPop.com, and in the bronzers you get 4.2 grams of product, which is the exact same amount you get in both their highlighters and their blushes. And that is also double the amount that you get in their eyeshadows, which retail for $5. So in the bronzers, you are getting twice the amount of product as the shadow without having to pay twice the price. So I love that ColourPop did that. I think $8 is a very reasonable price for this bronzer. So for packaging, you have the classic white plastic packaging that comes on all of ColourPop products. On the lid, you have ColourPop written in holographic writing, and on the back, you have a sticker with the name of the shade, the finish, as well as the amount of product that you get. I love that ColourPop also includes the finish. I think that is very, very helpful. So as far as finish goes, there are two. I have one of the satins and one of the mattes. So the matte finish is a true matte. As you can see, there is no sheen, glitter, or shimmer. And the satin finish does have a nice sheen to it, but there is no glitter or shimmer. So if you are someone that does not like shimmery products, I think you should still try this. It gives a beautiful glow to your skin. I'm someone that definitely prefers matte bronzer, but I love using this on the perimeters of my face, doing the E3 to give me that really nice bronzy glow without being too metallic or shimmery. It is definitely beautiful and perfect for summer. So as far as shades go, there are 6, which I think is pretty good because not very many lines have a very extensive range of bronzers with the exception of Too Faced and maybe a couple other brands. So I think that having 6 shades is really impressive. There is a shade for every skin tone. I will have all of the shades listed down below with their color description and their finish. So for the shades I have, the first one is Skinny Dip, which is a matte finish, and ColourPop describes this as a warm tan for fair to light skin tones. The other shade I have is Paradise Cove, which is a satin finish, and ColourPop describes this as a golden beige for light to medium skin tones. So now to texture, the ColourPop bronzers have the exact same texture as their blushes, which I love. So the ColourPop matte bronzers and blushes feel and perform exactly the same, and the satin ColourPop bronzers and blushes perform and feel exactly the same. They are a little bit thicker, they aren't slippery, they are a thicker putty to them, and they are a cream to powder finish, which I do love, but I really do like that consistency. I find it pretty easy to work with. So as far as pigmentation goes, I find that the bronzers give a medium opacity, but they are buildable to full, which I absolutely love. I think that the buildability is really important because it helps you control the amount of product that you want, and it makes this product perfect for a ton of different people, whether you like a light wash up color or you like a wham bam in your face amount of color. So now moving on to application. So I do have a whole chit chat get ready with me full face ColourPop where I show you how I apply my bronzers and my highlighters. So I will link that for you guys so you can go check that out to see everything in action. So the most impressive part about this product to me is the fact that these bronzers can go over powder. So I am someone that is very oily and I use a colored powder. So I can't apply these first and put my colored powder on top because it will change the shade. So now I'm going to talk about what brushes I like to use with these bronzers. So the Paradise Cove is the satin shade, and I apply that on my face in the E3 on the outer perimeters, and the Skinny Dip matte shade is what I use to contour. So I use different brushes for the outer perimeters and for the contour. So for the outer perimeters of my face, I like to use the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, which is very tightly packed, which I think works well with these products. You want a brush that does have some density to it, but I think the size is pretty good to apply bronzer in a large enough area without really taking over the face. So I love this brush for getting that E3. I would also recommend the Real Techniques sculpting brush, which I do not own, but it looks similar to an angled blush brush, which again will fit really, really well in those E3 spots. So either the Expert Face Brush or the sculpting brush would work perfectly to apply bronzer to the outer perimeters of your face. And to contour, I use the Real Techniques contour brush. You can see it is very small and it also has some nice density. It fits perfectly in the hollows of the cheeks to apply and blend out the product. So those are my brush recommendations. I know that ColourPop suggests that you use their products with your fingers to get the most color opacity, but I do not recommend applying bronzer with your fingers because I think you have a high chance of it looking very patchy and uneven, and I find that these brushes apply it perfectly, giving enough pigmentation and helping blend out the product. So for lasting power, these bronzers last all day on me, and my overall rating for these bronzers is a 4 out of 5. I think that the formula is incredible. I really love the texture. I find it very easy to work with. I love the fact that it can go over powder, and I love the shade selection. They have 6 shades and they have one for every single skin tone, which is really amazing and very well-rounded line. The only reason this product is not getting a perfect score from me is because I much prefer powder bronzers because I find them a bit easier to work with. But other than that, I think these are incredible and I definitely recommend you guys go check them out. So now into the highlighter review. For price and availability, again, these are $8 and you can only find them on ColourPopCosmetics.com. The bronzers, blushes, and highlighters are all the same size. They have 4.2 grams of product, which is double the amount of product that you get in an eyeshadow. And the packaging is the same. You have the classic white plastic packaging, ColourPop and holographic writing on the lid, and on the back you have a sticker with the name, finish, and amount of product that you are getting. So the highlighters only come in one finish, which is pearlized, but I have found that between the different shades, some will have more shimmer and some will have more of a metallic sheen. They all have technically the same finish, but there is a little bit of variance between each shade. So as far as the shades go, there are 15, which is really impressive. I have never seen such an extensive amount of highlighter shades, and there are shades for very fair skin tones to very deep skin tones, and they also have some shades that would be great as a blush topper or a blush depending on your skin tone, but they will just have that shimmery finish. So I have 3 shades, and the first one I have is Stole the Show. ColourPop describes this as a light cool tone gold with flashes of silver, pink, and gold. The next shade I have is Smoke and Whistles, which is a cool tone pink champagne with silver flashes. And lastly, I have Wisp, which is described as a golden champagne. So as far as pigmentation goes, I think these have a light medium opacity, which these are all one swipe on my hand, and this is great. If you are someone that wants just that light wash of highlight, one swipe is all you are going to need. But if you are someone that does like a really intense bam wham in your face highlight, then these are definitely buildable and you can get a stronger color payoff. So the texture of the highlighters is different from all of the other ColourPop products. As you can see, it doesn't have that quilted pattern like all of their other products do, but also it has a totally different consistency. It is super thin and lightweight. It almost feels like a silicone primer. So that is a very different consistency. Some people like that, but other people like me don't prefer it. So because of this consistency, this product does not go nicely over powder. Like I mentioned with the bronzers, I am somebody that has to set my face because I'm very oily and I use a colored powder. So I need to use my highlighters on top of my powder, and it is doable. I did do it today, but it does not apply the best. It can definitely make your powder ball up a little bit and not look super smooth. So it is workable, but it's definitely a big bummer with this product. I wish they did not change the formula. I think that the formula of the blushes and bronzers would have worked really well for a highlighter, so I'm really disappointed that they changed the formula. I definitely don't love the texture. So now I want to move on to application and talk about the brushes that I have tried and that I recommend for this product. So the first one I tried was the Real Techniques setting brush, which is what I use for powder highlighter. And because I use all Real Techniques brushes, brushes with the other ColourPop cheek products, but this did not work because the texture of the highlighter is different. So these two are not really compatible. It did not give me much color payoff on my cheeks, but luckily I did find another brush that I think works incredibly with these highlighters, and that would be the e.l.f. small stipple brush. So this does work with the bronzers and the blushes as well, but it will just give you a really light sheer wash of color. But this brush with this product picks it up perfectly and really helps to just dab it onto your cheekbones. I would recommend dabbing instead of swiping, because when you swipe it tends to wipe away the color and leave a little bit of shimmer behind. So I would recommend that you dab. Also with this texture, because it is more of that silicone feel and it is thinner and lighter, it does not actually set on your face, so it is very easy to wipe it away, which is another reason that I recommend that you dab it onto your cheeks instead of swipe it if you really want that color payoff. So for lasting power, I find that these highlighters last the majority of the day on my cheeks, which for me is very standard wear time for a highlighter. So now for my overall rating, I would say that the ColourPop highlighters are a 3.5 out of 5 for me. I think that they are a nice product, but they are not a must-have for me. I much prefer my powder highlighters over these, and I don't love the really thin texture because it does not apply well over my powder. But some pros about this product is their shade selection. They have shades for very fair skin tones to very deep skin tones, and they also have shades that would work as shimmery blush or a blush topper, which I think is incredible. So anyway guys, that is my review on the ColourPop bronzer and highlighters. I would love to hear your opinions in a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.